Hi everybody. Earlier in the year, my parents came to Kingston for a visit, and we decided to take a day trip to Bath, Ontario. I've lived in Kingston, Ontario for almost 30 years, and although I've traveled through the village of Bath on numerous occasions, I never took the time to visit. Bath, Ontario is a community rich in history and located just 20 minutes from my door. I was so impressed at what I saw, I returned on my own to discover more the village has to offer and learn how this town came to be. This is my journey to Bath, Ontario. Bath is one of the oldest communities in the province and first settled by the United Empire Loyalists in 1784. Located along Highway 33, the village is located on the eastern end of the Loyalist Parkway, a portion of highway that travels along Lake Ontario from Kingston to Trenton. Originally known as Ernestown, land in the area was divided into 200-acre lots and granted to men who remained loyal to the British Crown. In the 1800s, some men began to sell portions of their land to other settlers, and soon, the town was born. By 1804, the entire village had been prepared for settlement and surveyed, and by 1811, 5 streets were in existence. The village was later renamed to Bath in 1819. On November 9, 1812, an American fleet were in pursuit of a British flagship vessel, the Royal George. The village was attacked, and the merchant schooner Two Brothers was seized and burned. A mural exists just south of Centennial Park that depicts the event, and this is where my journey of Bath began. Centennial Park is a large, beautiful park located just east of Main and Church Streets. The park hosts many community functions and festivals throughout the year, and you will find a small kiosk on site which displays a map of the Loyalist Parkway as well as the village itself. Across the street is where you can find parking, as well as wander the shoreline, which captures the view of Amherst Island. Just before the intersection of Main and Church Streets, you will find the Fairfield Gutzeit House. This home was built in 1796 and is considered one of the first homes built in Ontario on the shores of Lake Ontario. It has undergone major renovations, which have allowed visitors to step inside and see what it was like to live back in time. Volunteers are on site during the summer to give you a guided history lesson of the property, and it's a must-see stop when you come to Bath. The community did a marvelous job restoring the house and putting it on display for visitors, so be sure to check out the Fairfield Gutzeit House. Located a few blocks from Main Street, you will find St. John's Anglican Church and Cemetery. An absolutely beautiful church built in 1925, it is the third church situated on this site. The original church was built in 1793 and believed to be one of the earliest churches in Upper Canada. The cemetery is the resting place for many veterans from the War of 1812, as well as a number of Bath's founding families. The other church located in the village of Bath is the Bath United Church and Cemetery. Built in 1849 as a Methodist church, it transitioned to a United Church in 1925. The looming church tower was added during alterations that took place in 1901. Like the Anglican Church, the cemetery finds the resting places of several War of 1812 veterans and the founding families of the village. Walking along both church grounds and cemeteries was like a walk back in time and quite a tranquil and moving experience. Bath Academy. The Bath Academy was constructed in 1910 with brick after the first 2 academies on this site were destroyed by fire. The Academy is the first grammar school and public library of the province of Ontario. During the War of 1812, the Academy was used as barracks for the troops. The building eventually served as the village's public school until 1970, when it was then used as the town hall until the amalgamation of neighboring communities in 1998. Layer Cake Hall. Built and designed by local carpenter Abraham Harris in 1859, the building was initially used to house the Mechanics Institute. However, after the business couldn't afford to pay the bills, Mr. Harris took over ownership. The hall gets its name due to its elaborate woodworking details, and over time was used by many different groups, including the Masons and the Presbyterian and Anglican communities. Currently, Layer Cake Hall houses the Bath branch of the County Library. Another historical event that took place in Bath was the 1942 Boxing Day fire. On December 26th, a fire consumed a major portion of a block on Main Street between Davie and Lodge Streets. 11 structures were lost in the fire, and several of them were designed in the Regency commercial style that included the two-tier verandas. These businesses gave the village of Bath much of its charm and character that was ever present in the early years, and now is home to a few small businesses, including the Bread and Butter Bakery, a 5-star bakery that is a must visit when passing through Bath. The W.H. Davie Store. Only one of 2 limestone buildings in the village of Bath was the W.H. Davie Store. Built in 1817, it was a residence and a local store. It later became known as the Royal Bank Building and is most famous for being the site of a $300,000 bank robbery in 1945. At that time, it was the largest bank heist in Canada. The E.D. Priest Store. Located at 428 Main Street, this 1829 2-story building is the only remaining double veranda-style property in the village of Bath. Main Street was lined with several of these buildings that house bakeries, blacksmiths, hotels, and taverns, just to name a few. E.D. Priest operated a store out of this building, and after Mrs. Davie took ownership of the property, the public school was situated on the first floor while the Bath Academy building was under construction. In 1910, the property was sold for $750 to the Freemasons and became the Masonic Lodge on October 11, 1911. Old Town Hall. Built in 1861, what is now the Bath Museum was once the original town hall. The courts were originally held at the Bath Academy. However, the noise of the school children on site became a distraction to the Division County Judge. Construction of the town hall remedied the situation. I really encourage visitors to step inside the museum and take the self-guided tour through the history of this community. Numerous artifacts are on display, including a collection of items from the United Empire Loyalists, both World Wars, and others dating back almost 400 years. Be sure to drop into the Old Town Hall when you come to Bath. Now, there are several homes and properties throughout the village that carry some historical significance, and if you grab yourself a copy of the Explore Historic Bath Guidebook, you will find all of them listed with a brief explanation of the families who own the properties and the significance they contributed to the village. But one house in particular that I wanted to share is the Jephthah Hawley House, located just on the far west end of the village. Constructed in 1785, the house is the oldest structure in Bath and is the only original settler's house to be continually occupied in Ontario. A provincial historical plaque is located just in front of the house, and it highlights the story of the property, including being the first religious gathering of Anglicans before the St. John's Anglican Church was built. Bath was known for a well-established shipping industry, and the first steamship built in Upper Canada, the Frontenac, was launched on the Great Lakes and took place in what is now known today as Finkel Park. Finkel Park was also home to a brewery, a tavern, and known for being the site of the first hanging in Upper Canada. Now, it has a much friendlier vibe as it has become a very popular resting place for tourists, motorists, and cyclists who travel along Highway 33 to take in the gorgeous shoreline of Lake Ontario. The park is a perfect place to have a picnic and go for a stroll, and there's also a boat launch and a gazebo which can be used for a variety of different events. The village of Bath has retained its historical charm along the original town lines, but it has changed over the last number of years with many modern property developments taking shape. Weaving its way through a number of residential streets, you will find the Loyalists Golf and Country Club, which is one of the most elegant, challenging, and popular golf courses in Eastern Ontario. The course hosts multiple events throughout the year, including weddings, and is a must-play course for golf enthusiasts of all levels. Now, no trip is complete to Bath, Ontario without traveling 5 minutes north on Church Street in visiting the McKinnon Brothers Brewing Company. As settlers to Upper Canada in 1784, the McKinnon brothers decided to pay tribute to their family legacy by forming a farm-based brewery. The brewery is a must-visit when traveling to Bath, where you can not only enjoy a variety of some of the best draft beers found in the province, but also the ambiance and tranquility of the farmland atmosphere that they created. There's more than just beer at McKinnon Brothers Brewery. There is over 200 years of farming history, character, incredible hospitality, and some of the best nachos you will ever have. Please make sure you drop into the farm on your trip to Bath. So this is Bath, Ontario, and very much a destination worthy of a visit. Whether you're passing through or living nearby, take the time to spend an afternoon in Bath. The museums are amazing. The small businesses and owners that call Main Street home are incredibly inviting, and the journey wandering the streets and viewing the old homes and properties are simply captivating. If you love history and enjoy learning about it at a very relaxed pace, Bath, Ontario is the place to do that. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed making it. Thanks for watching, everyone.